Most women think showing a man how much they care will make him fall in love. It doesn't. It makes him comfortable. And comfortable men don't chase, don't commit, and don't feel that pull in their chest that makes them want you more every single day. Let's be real for a second. You've done this. You meet someone, the chemistry is there, the conversation flows. So you text back right away. You make yourself free when he wants to see you. You laugh at his jokes. You ask about his day. You show him you're interested. And what happens? He pulls back. He goes quiet. He starts acting like he's not sure what he wants. Here's what nobody tells you. That's not bad timing. That's not him being confused. That's you giving him your attention before he's done anything to earn it. Men are wired to pursue, but they can't pursue what's already sitting in their lap. They pursue what moves, what creates tension, what makes them wonder if they're going to lose you. Teasing is not about being mean. It's not about playing games or acting like you don't care. It's about creating space where his emotions can actually build. It's about being present without being predictable. It's about making him feel like he has you and then reminding him he doesn't, not yet. In this video, I'm going to show you 9 ways to tease a man so he stops taking you for granted and starts working to keep your attention. No tricks, no scripts, just real strategies that shift the energy between you two so he starts chasing the way you've been chasing him. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what works. Stay with me because one of these shifts changes everything the moment you use it. Let's get into it. Number 1, the response that makes him lean forward. Let's talk about texting because this is where most women lose control of the situation without even realizing it. The response that makes him lean forward is not instant, it's not long, and it's not trying to keep the conversation going. It's short, it's playful, and it leaves him wanting more. Here's what this looks like in real life. Sarah is 32, lives in Austin, works in marketing. She meets Daniel, 35, on a dating app. The conversation is good. He's funny, engaged, asking questions. After a few days of messaging, he asks what she's up to. Most women would text back right away with a full update. Sarah waits 2 hours, then she replies, "Living my best life. You?" That's it. No explanation, no apology for the delay, no essay about her day. Daniel notices the gap, he notices the brevity, and instead of moving on, he doubles down. He sends a longer message, he asks more questions, he starts trying to impress her. Why does this work? Because Sarah didn't give him everything he was looking for. She gave him just enough to stay interested, but not enough to feel satisfied. That gap creates tension. Tension creates curiosity. Curiosity keeps him coming back. Most women think that being responsive shows interest. It does, but it also shows availability, and availability kills attraction. When you're always there, always ready, always engaged, he stops wondering about you. He stops thinking about you when you're not around. You become background noise. Here's the truth. Men are hunters by nature, not in some weird, outdated way, but emotionally. They're wired to pursue what feels uncertain. When you text back instantly every single time, you remove all uncertainty. He knows you're interested. He knows you're available. So he relaxes. He stops trying. Sarah does this again later in the week. Daniel texts asking if she wants to grab drinks. Instead of saying yes immediately, she waits a few hours and replies, "Maybe, when were you thinking?" Notice what she did. She didn't reject him. She didn't say yes either. She created a question mark. That question mark lives in his mind until she answers. This isn't about being difficult. It's about pacing. When you control the pace of communication, you control the energy. He starts matching your rhythm instead of you matching his. That shift is everything. Here's the rule. Respond with warmth, but never with urgency. Keep your messages shorter than his. Don't fill every silence. Let him wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and whether he's on your mind. That wondering is what builds attraction. If you want to practice this today, try this. When he texts, wait at least an hour before responding. When you do respond, keep it light and brief. Don't ask a follow-up question every time. Let some conversations end naturally. Watch what happens. He'll start initiating more. He'll start putting in more effort. He'll start chasing the feeling he gets when you do respond. This response style makes him lean forward because it tells him something important. You have a life. You're not sitting around waiting for his messages. You're engaged. You're busy. You're not desperate for his attention. That independence is deeply attractive to men. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I control the pace. Stay with me because next we're talking about the silence that makes him obsess over you. Number 2, the silence that makes him obsess. Let's be honest about silence because most women are absolutely terrified of it. They think silence means disinterest, awkwardness, or that he's losing attraction, so they fill it, they talk, they ask questions, they keep things moving, and in doing they kill the very thing that creates desire, space. The silence that makes him obsess is not cold, it's not punishment, it's simply you being comfortable not filling every gap in the conversation. It's you letting moments sit. And in those moments, his mind starts working. He starts thinking about you. He starts wondering what you're thinking. That wondering is where obsession begins. Here's how this plays out. Emma is 28, lives in Chicago, works in finance. She's on a second date with Jake, 31. The conversation has been flowing, but there's a lull. Most women would panic and jump in with a new topic. Emma doesn't. She takes a sip of her drink, looks around the room, and stays quiet. 5 seconds pass. 10 seconds. Jake shifts in his seat. Then he leans forward and asks, "What are you thinking about?" That question is everything. It means his attention is fully on her. It means he's curious. It means the silence created pressure that he felt the need to release. Emma smiles and says, "Nothing important." Then she changes the subject. Jake spends the rest of the night trying to figure out what she was thinking. Why does this work? Because silence creates a vacuum. Human beings are wired to fill vacuums. When you stay quiet, he fills the space. He talks more, he reveals more, he invests more. That investment bonds him to you. Most women think attraction grows through constant connection. It doesn't. Attraction grows through contrast. Connection, then space. Engagement, then silence. Warmth, then a step back. That rhythm keeps his emotions moving. When everything is constant, emotions flatten. Silence also communicates something powerful about your internal state. When you're comfortable with quiet, it shows you're not anxious, you're not worried about his approval, you're not desperate to keep his interest. That calm is magnetic. Men are drawn to women who are at ace with themselves. Emma uses this again when Jake texts her after the date saying he had a great time. Instead of responding with a paragraph about how much she enjoyed it too, she waits until the next day and replies, "Me too." That's it, 2 words. Jake sends another message asking when she's free. Emma waits several hours before responding. Each silence makes him think about her more. Here's what most women miss. Silence gives him room to miss you. When you're always available, always talking, always engaging, he never gets the chance to feel your absence. He never experiences the drop in energy that happens when you're not there. That drop is what creates longing. The key is to make the silence feel natural, not forced. You're not ignoring him to punish him. You're simply living your life. You're busy. You have things to do. You have interests that don't revolve around him. That independence is attractive because it tells him you won't lose yourself in the relationship. Here's the rule. Get comfortable with pauses. In person, let conversations breathe. Don't rush to fill dead air. Over text, don't feel pressured to respond immediately or keep every thread going. Let some exchanges end. Let him wonder. That wondering keeps you on his mind. If you want to practice this, try this. On your next date, when there's a natural pause, don't speak. Just smile and be present. See how long it takes him to break the silence. Over text, let at least one conversation per day end without you sending the last message. Watch how quickly he reaches out again. Silence makes him obsess because it creates space for his imagination. He fills that space with thoughts of you. He replays your last conversation. He wonders what you're doing. He starts to feel the absence. That absence is what makes him want to close the distance. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I embrace the pause. Stay with me, Beaker. Use next, we're breaking down the playful challenge that lights him up. Number 3, the playful challenge that lights him up. Let's talk about challenge because this is where most women go completely wrong. They think men want someone who agrees with everything, who makes things easy, who never pushes back. That's not attraction. That's boring. Men are lit up by women who challenge them in a playful, confident way. Not arguing, not being difficult, challenging his assumptions with a smile. Here's a real example. Lisa is 35, lives in Denver, works as a teacher. She's out with Mark, 37, who's telling her about how he's pretty good at cooking. Instead of nodding and complimenting him, Lisa raises an eyebrow and says, "Pretty good usually means you make pasta and call it a meal." She says it lightly with a grin. Mark laughs and immediately starts defending his skills, listing dishes he can make. Lisa just sips her drink and says, "I'll believe it when I taste it." What just happened? Lisa challenged his statement without being mean. She didn't accept his self-assessment at face value. She pushed back playfully. And Mark's response? He got more animated, more engaged, more interested in proving himself to her. This works because challenge creates polarity. When you agree with everything a man says, there's no friction. No friction means no spark. The playful challenge introduces just enough resistance that his competitive nature kicks in. He wants to rise to the occasion. He wants to impress you. That desire to impress is what builds attraction. Most women avoid challenge because they're afraid of conflict or turning him off. But there's a massive difference between being combative and being playfully challenging. Combative attacks his character. Playful challenge questions his statements with humor and confidence. One creates tension in a bad way. The other creates Nashin, that's exciting. Lisa does this again when Mark mentions he's really busy with work. Instead of sympathizing immediately, she says, "Busy is what people say when they don't know how to prioritize." She delivers it with a smile, not an accusation. Mark pauses, then laughs and admits she might have a point. The conversation goes deeper from there. Here's what this does. It shows Mark that Lisa has her own perspective. She's not trying to please him. She's not managing his ego. She's being real. That realness is refreshing. Most women he meets are so focused on being liked that they lose their personality. Lisa stands out because she's willing to push back. The playful challenge also tells him, you have standards. You're not impressed easily. You're not going to accept surface-level answers. You want substance. Men respect that. They're drawn to it. It signals that you're a woman of value who expects effort. Here's the rule. When he makes a statement you find questionable or funny, don't let it slide. Question it with warmth. Tease him about it. Make him back up his claims. But always keep your tone light and your energy playful. You're inviting him to step up, not attacking him. If you want to practice this, try this. Next time he brags about something, respond with playful skepticism instead of immediate praise. If he says he's great at something, say, "We'll see about that." If he makes a bold claim, smile and say, "Big talk." Then let him try to convince you. Watch how much more effort he puts in. The playful challenge lights him up because it makes the interaction dynamic. You're not just receiving his energy, you're matching it and reflecting it back. That back and forth creates chemistry. It makes him feel alive. It makes him want more time with you. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I playfully push back. Stay with me because next we're revealing the attention shift that drives him crazy in the best way. Number 4. The attention shift that drives him crazy. Let's be real about attention because this is where women lose their power without realizing it. Constant attention feels like love to you. To him, it feels like pressure. The attention shift that drives him crazy is when you give him your full focus, then calmly redirect it somewhere else. That shift creates a pattern he starts craving. Here's how this works. Rachel is 30, lives in Miami, works in real estate. She's been seeing Tom, 33, for a few weeks. When they're together, Rachel is fully present. She listens, she engages, she laughs. But when the date ends, she doesn't text him for the rest of the night. The next day, she's busy with work and friends. Tom notices. He texts her. She responds warmly but briefly. He feels the shift. What's happening here? Rachel is creating contrast. When she's with Tom, he has her full attention. When she's not with him, he doesn't. That contrast makes the time he does have with her feel valuable. It also makes him wonder what she's doing when she's not responding. That wondering keeps her on his mind. Most women think staying in constant contact builds connection. It does the opposite. It creates dependency and kills mystery. When he can reach you anytime, talk to you anytime, have your attention anytime, there's no gap for desire to grow. Desire needs space. Rachel does this again when Tom asks to see her 3 nights in a row. She says yes to one night, but tells him she has plans the other two. She doesn't explain what the plans are. She doesn't apologize. She just states it simply. Tom feels a flicker of something, not rejection, curiosity. What is she doing? Who is she with? Why isn't she making him the priority? Here's the key insight. Men value what they have to work for. When your attention is freely given all the time, it loses weight. When it appears, disappears, and requires effort to get back, it gains weight. That weight creates pull. The attention shift also protects you emotionally. When you invest all your energy into a man early on, you become attached faster than he does. You start caring more. You start doing more. And he senses the imbalance. That imbalance gives him all the power. When you shift your attention between him and your own life, you stay balanced. Balance is attractive. Tom starts pursuing Rachel harder. He texts more. He asks her out earlier in the week to lock down time with her. He starts putting in effort he wasn't putting in before. Why? Because Rachel's attention isn't guaranteed. He has to earn it. That earning process creates investment on his part. Here's the rule. Be fully present when you're with him, then fully engaged in your own life when you're not. Don't keep him at the center of your world. Make him a part of your world. That distinction changes everything. If you want to practice this, try this. After a good date, don't text him that night. Wait until the next day. When you do text, keep it short. During the week, make sure you have plans that don't involve him. Don't drop everything when he asks to see you. Show him that your time is valuable and that he's lucky to get it. The attention shift drives him crazy because it creates an emotional rhythm he starts to crave. The high of having your attention, the low of not having it, the pursuit to get it back. That cycle is what builds deep attraction. It makes him feel alive. It makes him want more. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I value my time. Stay with me because next we're talking about the tease that lives in his head all. Number 5, the tease that lives in his heart. Let's talk about the kind of teasing that actually works, because most women get this completely wrong. They think teasing means making fun of him or being sarcastic. That's not it. The tease that lives in his head is subtle. It's something you say or do that's slightly incomplete. It plants a question he can't stop thinking about. Here's a real situation. Anna is 29, lives in Seattle, works in tech. She's texting with Chris, 32. He asks what she did over the weekend. Instead of giving him a full rundown, Anna replies, "Something I probably shouldn't have." Then she doesn't elaborate. Chris immediately asks what it was. Anna waits an hour, then says, "I'll tell you in person." Then she changes the subject. What just happened? Anna created a loop in Chris's mind. He wants closure. He wants to know what she did, but she's not giving it to him. That loop stays open. All day he's thinking about it. What did she do? Who was she with? Why can't she tell him over text? That wondering keeps her in his thoughts. This works because the human brain hates unfinished business. When you create an open loop, his mind keeps returning to it, trying to close it. That repetition embeds you in his thoughts. You're not just someone he's dating. You're someone he's actively thinking about. Most women over-explain everything. They want to be understood. They want to share. But sharing everything kills intrigue. When he knows all your thoughts, all your activities, all your feelings, there's nothing left to discover. Discovery is what keeps attraction alive. Anna does this again on their next date. They're talking about travel. Chris asks where her favorite place she's visited is. Anna says, "There's one place I go back to in my mind all the time." Chris asks where. Anna smiles and says, "Maybe I'll take you there someday." Then she changes the subject. Chris spends the rest of the date curious about this mystery place. Here's what this does. It creates future projection. Chris is now imagining a future scenario where Anna takes him to this place. He's picturing them traveling together. That mental image creates emotional investment. He's already imagining a future with her, and she barely did anything except leave something unsaid. The tease that lives in his head is never mean. It's never manipulative. It's simply you being selective about what you reveal. You're not hiding things. You're just not laying everything out immediately. You're letting him be curious. Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. Here's the rule. When he asks questions, don't always give complete answers. Leave something hanging. Create a reason for him to see you again, to find out more. Make him work for information. That work creates investment. If you want to practice this, try this. Next time he asks about your day or your weekend, give him a teaser instead of the full story. Say something like, I had the weirdest conversation today, but don't explain unless he asks. Or mention you're excited about something coming up, but don't say what it is right away. Let him ask. Let him pursue the information. The tease that lives in his head works because it keeps you present in his mind even when you're not physically there. He's thinking about you. He's wondering about you. He's curious about you. That mental presence is what builds the kind of attraction that lasts. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I keep him curious. Stay with me because next we're revealing the boundary that makes him respect you more. Number 6, the boundary that makes him respect you. Let's be honest about boundaries because most women think setting them will push a man away. It doesn't. Weak boundaries push him away. Strong boundaries make him respect you more. And respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. The boundary that makes him respect you is calm, clear, and non-negotiable. Here's how this plays out. Nicole is 31, lives in Boston, works in healthcare. She's been seeing David, 34, for a month. He starts texting her late at night, asking to come over. The first time, Nicole responds the next morning, I don't do last-minute late-night hangouts. If you want to see me, ask me earlier in the day. She says it simply. No anger, no explanation, just a clear boundary. David is surprised. Most women he's dated would either say yes to keep him interested or get upset and emotional. Nicole does neither. She just states what works for her. David respects it. The next time he wants to see her, he plans ahead. He asks her out 3 days in advance. Nicole's boundary trained him without her having to nag or explain. Why does this work? Because boundaries show self-respect. When you respect yourself, men respect you. When you bend your standards to keep a man's interest, he loses respect. He might still see you, but he won't value you the way you want to be valued. Value comes from boundaries. Most women are afraid that saying no will make him lose interest. Sometimes it does, and that's a good thing. If a man loses interest because you have standards, he wasn't serious about you anyway. You filtered him out early instead of wasting months on someone who wasn't going to commit. Nicole does this again when David tries to change plans last minute. He texts her an hour before their date saying something came up and suggesting they meet later instead. Nicole replies, I made time for tonight. If it doesn't work for you, let's reschedule for another day. David immediately adjusts his schedule to make the original time work. Here's what happened. Nicole didn't chase. She didn't accommodate poor behavior. She simply held her boundary. David realized that Nicole's time is valuable and that if he wants to see her, he needs to respect her schedule. That realization makes him treat her differently than he treats women who constantly accommodate him. The boundary that makes him respect you also protects your emotional energy. When you say yes to things that don't feel right just to keep him happy, you build resentment. That resentment eventually destroys attraction. When you say no to things that don't work for you, you preserve your peace. That peace makes you more attractive because you're not carrying negative energy. Here's the rule. Know what you will and won't accept. State it clearly once. Don't explain excessively. Don't apologize. Don't negotiate. Just hold the line. If he respects it, great. If he doesn't, you have important information about his character. If you want to practice this, try this. Identify one thing that bothers you in dating. Late night texts, last minute plans, texting patterns, whatever it is. The next time it happens, calmly state your boundary. Don't be mean. Don't be emotional. Just be clear. Then watch what happens. Men who are worth your time will adjust. Men who aren't will disappear. Either way, you win. The boundary that makes him respect you works because it shows him you're not desperate. You're not willing to accept poor treatment. You value yourself. And when you value yourself, he values you too. Respect and attraction go hand in hand. You can't have lasting attraction without mutual respect. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I honor my standards. Stay with me because next we're talking about the emotional pull that makes him chase you. Number 7, the emotional pull that makes him chase. Let's talk about the emotional pull because this is where most women completely reverse the natural dynamic. They chase, they pursue, they make all the effort, and then they wonder why he's not invested. The emotional pull that makes him chase you is simple. You stop being emotionally available all the time. You create space where he has to reach for you. Here's a real example. Jessica is 27, lives in Portland, works in design. She's been talking to Ryan, 30, for 2 weeks. The conversations have been good, but Jessica notices she's always the one asking questions, always the one keeping things going, so she stops. She responds when he texts, but she doesn't ask follow-up questions. She doesn't volunteer new topics. She just answers and then goes quiet. Within a day, Ryan's texting pattern changes. He starts asking more questions. He starts sharing more. He starts putting in effort to keep the conversation alive. Why? Because Jessica stopped doing all the emotional labor. She created a gap and Ryan stepped in to fill it. This works because men are wired to pursue, but they can't pursue what's chasing them. When you're always available, always engaged, always the one reaching out, you reverse the natural polarity. He relaxes, he stops trying, he lets you do all the work. That imbalance kills attraction on both sides. Most women are terrified to pull back because they think he'll lose interest. Sometimes he does, and that tells you everything. If a man only stays interested when you're doing all the work, he was never that interested to begin with. Pulling back filters out men who aren't serious and activates men who are. Jessica does this again when Ryan asks to see her. Instead of immediately saying yes and offering times, she says, "I might be free this weekend." Then she waits for him to follow up. Ryan texts her the next day asking specifically when she's available. Jessica tells him he makes a plan. The effort came from him, not her. Here's what this does. It shifts the investment balance. When you stop over-functioning, he has to start functioning. That shift makes him feel like he's winning you over instead of you winning him over. That feeling is critical. Men fall for women they feel they've earned, not women who fell for them first. The emotional pull also protects your dignity. When you're chasing, you lose respect for yourself. You feel needy. You feel anxious. That energy repels men. When you pull back and let him chase, you feel more confident. That confidence is attractive. He senses it. He responds to it. Here's the rule. Match his effort. Don't exceed it. If he texts once a day, you text once a day. If he asks you out, great. If he doesn't, don't do the asking. Let there be space. Let him feel your absence. That absence creates the pull that makes him want to close the distance. If you want to practice this, try this. For 1 week, don't initiate contact. Respond when he reaches out, but don't reach out first. Don't ask questions that aren't answered. Don't carry the conversation. Just be warm but minimal. Watch what happens. If he's interested, he'll step up. If he doesn't, you saved yourself months of chasing someone who wasn't going to commit. The emotional pull that makes him chase works because it restores the natural dynamic. You stop pursuing. You start being pursued. That shift changes how he sees you. You go from someone trying to win him over to someone he's trying to win over. That perspective shift is everything. Write this in the comments to lock it in. I let him pursue. Stay with me because next we're breaking down the mystery that keeps him hooked. Number 8, the mystery that keeps him hooked. Let's be real about mystery because most women think they need to share everything to build connection. You don't. In fact, sharing everything too soon kills attraction. The mystery that keeps him hooked is not about lying or playing games. It's about being selective. It's about not laying your entire life out in the first few conversations. Here's how this works. Kelly is 33, lives in San Francisco, works in marketing. She's on a first date with Brian, 36. Brian asks about her job, her hobbies, her family, her past relationships. Most women would answer every question in detail, trying to build connection. Kelly doesn't. She answers some questions fully, others she keeps vague. When Brian asks about her last relationship, Kelly says, "It taught me a lot about what I want." Then she changes the subject. Brian is intrigued. Most women give him their entire relationship history on the first date. Kelly didn't. That restraint makes him curious. What happened? What did she learn? Why isn't she sharing? That curiosity keeps him thinking about her after the date ends. This works because mystery creates mental engagement. When someone is an open book, there's nothing left to discover.